Hello to all. Hope you've been having fun with our newest friend, the variable y. Last week I mentioned that we would be discussing something called graphs today. Now you might have heard or even seen a graph. A graph is a drawing used to represent a function. There are basically an unlimited number of types of graphs, although for this class we're only going to focus on a select few. Here are some examples of a graph and what they look like. You might have noticed that each of these darker lines are marked with X or Y. These are called axes, the X-axis going horizontal and the Y-axis going vertical. Each point on this line represents a number combination of the function y equals x squared. For example, if we go across the x-axis to 2 and go up, we see that when x is 2, y is 4. We represent this as something called a coordinate, which looks like this. The first number in the coordinate is x, and the second is what y is when x is that value. Now, how exactly do we draw a graph ourselves? There's a lot of tricks to it, but here's a solid go-to if you ever forget the tricks we talk about in later weeks. Let's try graphing this function, y equals 2x minus 4. Remember those charts we made last week? We need to make one of them again, but this time make it around 0. Fill it in like so. Now each of these rows are actually coordinates for us to plot. Starting at the coordinate -2, -8, we plot this point by going over -2 on the x-axis, then going down 8. Do this for every coordinate and we get something that looks like this. Next, draw a line through the points. In this case it's an easy straight line, but sometimes there will be curves like in the first graph I showed you. And there you go. Right here is the graph of the function. Let's do a practice one together to make sure you've gotten it down. Do your best to graph the functions y equals x squared plus 2 using the table method I just showed you. I'll be doing it slowly in the background, but don't peek unless you absolutely need help. Alright, and there we go. Hopefully your table and graph match this. If not, it might be a good time to rewind and review a bit to see where you went wrong. Otherwise, that's all for this week. Next week, we're going over the tricks to graphing a line without using a table. Saves a lot of time and is even easier than you would think. Until next time, keep on learning.